Kennedy clan is going after one of its own again. First, there was the oh-so-perfect family picture on St. Patrick's Day with new BFFs Jill and President Joe Biden. Now JFK's grandson, Jack Schlossberg, posted a series of videos to social media explaining why he was voting for President Joe Biden and not his cousin, RFK Jr.
Howdy, I'm Wade. How you doing? I want to tell you who I'm voting for this cycle. It's Biden. And I'll tell you why. Because I think that behavior matters, and I think the example we set for our children matters. I've got 3 daughters, and I don't want them growing up with a President Trump 2.0 who's grabbing stuff and painted orange and ripping everybody down with no shame. Do I want to vote for Robby Kennedy Jr.? Doesn't seem like he shows much respect for anybody neither. He's lying to us, that's for sure. Plus, I race horses. And you can always tell when a horse is being pumped full of testosterone. Steroids. Doesn't make the horse think any better or run any faster. Now, I'm voting for Biden because I believe in honor, integrity, decency, and just plain old patriotism. Thank you. That guy, he's a prick. The new guy, the young guy, he's a prick. He's lying to you. All right? Independent third party, third party independent. Yeah, right. He's got Trump's donors. He's got Trump's advisors. Him and Trump go way freaking back. Don't be fooled by that. Don't throw away your vote. Vote for Biden. It'll feel good. It's going to be fun.
Jack also portrayed RFK Jr. as a Russian asset.
This is me, Vlad. I just want to say again point I make in stories. This is why I vote for RFK Jr. I am from Russia. He is hero of Russia because he says that the U.S. should give Putin everything he wants in the war in Europe and the Ukraine. He says the war is the fault of the President Biden. This is so good for Russia. And he also says things like he want to give Assange and the Snowden the clemency and welcome home to U.S. This is so funny to me because they are Russian spies and he is American presidential candidate. This is great. Go RFK Jr. I vote. You have my Russia's vote. You're a hero.
Well, those videos had some people in the mainstream media swooning over Jack Schlossberg, but he's also received some backlash from Instagram users, one commenting on his videos. This is very sad. Not only are you endorsing Biden, but you're also disrespecting your own family by airing your dirty laundry. Is this person having a mental health crisis? I would vote for Robert Kennedy any day over Biden. What the heck is wrong with this guy? This is what happens when you're overly privileged and don't have to actually hold down a job. RFK Jr. for president. Now, Schlossberg responded to his critics saying, "You can call me whatever you want. Forget about it. I'm from New York." RFK Jr. himself has not yet appeared to publicly respond to his cousin's videos.
Yeah. I have seen the people who are swooning over it.
I just Googled it. I didn't know. Daily Beast headline, "The Internet's crush" is this guy.
But I have seen a number of people who have done the opposite. And frankly, there were things that he said in there that were, I think, emblematic of why so many folks are disenchanted with the Democratic Party. For one, criticizing anyone who wants clemency for Julian Assange. Did he also mention Snowden? I think it's just, it's an incredible self-own to put that in the column of strikes against Joe Biden, or strikes against RFK Jr. rather than a strike against Joe Biden. We looked up how old Schlossberg was because I do think he's being treated as kind of like a kid having fun on the internet, as this generation is wont to do. But he's a 31-year-old Harvard Law School graduate who has, as of yet, decided what to do with his degree or seemingly have a legal job. I do think he worked briefly for an architectural firm, which is what his father does in the interim time between law school and college. He just graduated from law school relatively recently.
Making videos on the internet, not a good
But
career
he's not
move.
this is not some young, uninformed, kiddish behavior. And in fact, when you look at what people in his generational cohort or younger are actually doing with their lives, they are standing arm to arm. Opinions suggest that majorities of them are very much opposed to Joe Biden's foreign policy, and many of them are standing arm to arm and putting their lives, their jobs, their prospects on the line to try to prevent an ongoing genocide. And so he's out of step with, I think, the mood of the country. I think he's out of step with his generational cohort. And it is bizarre. It is bizarre, I think, on a certain level, to be saying very personal things about a family member who I presume you're going to have to see at an upcoming event, like the fact that they're roided up and then that's what's motivating their politics.
That was a very unkind thing to say about a family member. RFK Jr. has consistently handled this issue of the family not wanting him to run and instead supporting Joe Biden quite well, I've thought.
Yeah.
Again, it's you don't have to agree with none of us agree with everything our family members think, and he's just kind of shrugged it off and said, I still love them, don't agree with them, but they're great.
And he's come off very well.
Yeah,
like,
this comes off
very well.
This just comes off terribly petty to me and like not welcome or wanted. So of course, it's not surprising to me that mainstream media people want to be like, oh, what a hero, how great.
It's also interesting to me as a progressive, so often leftists are described as you don't really have politics, you don't really organize, you just show up every 4 years to complain, yada, 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 when the opposite, frankly, is true. But here we have someone who doesn't seem to have any politics, doesn't seem to be saying anything about what he's affirmatively for, doesn't seem to be making an argument about why Joe Biden is just randomly attacking his own relative for being independent. Frankly, the best things about RFK Jr., I'm critical of RFK Jr. because of his position on Israel, because of inconsistencies that I see in his policy position, and substantive reasons. But the best things about RFK Jr. is that he is running against the duopoly. The best things about him are the fact that he is a third-party candidate who is trying to fill a void that has been created by two warmongering parties that are ignoring the interest of the bulk of the American people. And it is ironic that someone who has no politics of their own that they've espoused so far, although he has hinted that he's interested in going into a career in politics, would choose to come out only in the context of an electoral cycle, not being for anything, just being for the idea of the Democratic
and for
candidate.
Continued Russiagate narratives, right?
Too.
He leaned heavily into that totally unfair and largely discredited idea that opposition to the Democratic Party is all some kind of Russian influence operation that we've been bamboozled by. That articulating a different foreign policy with respect to Europe and with respect to Ukraine is somehow because of being beholden to the Russian government rather than sincere questions about whether the investment there is worth what is happening, whether U.S. Interference can improve the situation, and then going all the way back to the extent to which Russia is responsible for Donald Trump, winning in 2016, still widely believed by Hillary Clinton and others to be the fault of Russia because of all those bots out there on social media that tricked you, that hoodwinked you into voting against Hillary Clinton. Still a popular narrative for Democratic families, scions of people involved in those politics.
Yeah, that's right. All right, stick around. We've got a lot more Rising coming up next.